everyone, my name is ZeBirdBrain, and today we are talking about rigging. And not any rigging, we're gonna rig a hand. So I know there's many ways to rig a hand, and I mean, you could just have a hand drawing and like put a peg on it and call it a day. Yay, I have a hand rig, right? So today what I'm gonna teach you is actually more of an advanced way to rig a hand. And this hand will allow our character to hold a prop. And it will make it so that you have your hand here, and if you have a prop and you put it inside the hand is going to hold it like that. And if you change it to another hand, you would not get this effect. So you really need to have the special hand. So if I show you my drawing substitutions of the hand, all of these hands don't have the OL layer, but this one has it. Alright, and this prop could be anything. So I can make a new drawing if I want, or it could be any prop that you import in your scene. You would just need to connect it here and it would work. So that's what we're gonna work with. So what you're gonna need today is a hand design. Make sure that in your hand design you have actual overlay fingers that, needs to be on top of a prop, otherwise it's not gonna work. Then you need to copy paste this drawing layer. Yes, I said copy paste as in copy and paste to get both. This is so rare, oh my god. Like, the hand is full of exceptions. You're gonna learn that very soon. So this drawing layer will just be the regular hand, and this one will be the one where we handle the OL. So I will rename it hand_OL_clone. And then what you need to do, of course, is have a peg on your hand. And the reason why I'm doing one peg at a time instead of doing this, boo, is because they need to share the same pivot point. So, I will just do it once and then copy paste that peg. So put the pivot point. And when I design hands, I always keep the pivot point on the first drawing, just in case, because you never know when you're gonna need it, so how convenient. And then what I'm gonna do is take that peg, and since I know that there is no animation on it, I can copy paste it without worrying about my animation being cloned and my functions being shared. So I'm gonna copy paste this peg so that both of my pegs share the same pivot point. Of course, I could have just created a new peg and copy pasted that information, but I'd rather just rename the other peg. Hand_OL-peg. I didn't put clone just because it's shorter. And then we need to talk about hierarchy, because if we follow the rules that I keep teaching, like every drawing should have its own peg, so like the good thing to do would be to copy paste this one because I know there's no animation, and do something like that. But if you do that, it means that your animators will always need to click on the hand and then press B and B again to get to the full hand peg. So to prevent that, we're gonna get rid of this one and just do something like that. Whoa, so it means that the hand without its fingers will not have a peg. Well, yeah, because when do you want to move just this part of the hand without the top fingers? It doesn't make sense! Alright, so now that the hierarchy is taken care of, let's focus on this part, where the blue stuff happens. If this was part of a rig, you would need to have a composite holding these two together. So let's give the good example and put a composite there and even rename it, because I'm a good person. So now we're gonna need to work with our art layers. So I'm gonna get my hand, and I'm gonna prepare the ground for the rigging part. I'm gonna go in drawing. Then I'm gonna get my select tool and just roughly select what I think will appear on top of my hand when it holds an object. I'm gonna copy paste that on the overlay. And then I'm just gonna arrange it and take care to close any gaps that are there and to make sure that my hand will layer well on top of an object. So I'm gonna get rid of this line. This one I'll keep it, and I'm just going to use a close gap to put a little stroke here just to put some paint in case the prop needs to go here, who knows. And then it's just a matter of recoloring it. So to go faster, I'm just gonna color pick and put these colors with the paint unpainted feature. Make sure you're doing this on the overlay and not coloring your line art. Alright, so this would be my OL. So now that we know that we've used art layers, what I'm gonna do is get my classic overlay, line art, color art, and place them there. I could have used the layer selector as well to select both of my line art and my color art at the same time. The layer selector is a great node to keep your rig lighter, but I know for a fact that for this hand, I will need to use my line art and color art to make my auto patch system work and everything, so I will not be using the layer selector today, but you totally could have just done this. And normally it could have worked, but just in case you need the auto patch, I will just show it this way as well. Just note that using this kind of system will prevent your compositing team from using the line art and color art to separate your rig in terms of compositing. For this rig, I don't care because I use the overlay and underlay on many other pieces of my rig, so I already know that separating my line art and color art with the filters on my whole rig at once is already not an option, so I don't really care. But for simpler rigs, instead of doing that, you could also just use another drawing layer and use it instead of an OL. But alright, so we're making progress. Now what I need to do also is on my hand, on my underlay, I like to indicate that this is a hand that has an OL. So I'll go my hand and then put a little dot, and this will just indicate that I'm using a hand with an OL. But now it disappears. This is because it's not connected here. So I also need to get my underlay layer and connect it like that. Wow, so cool. But the problem is that now if I render, I will have a blue dot that is a bit annoying. So just make sure that you take also a visibility node. The visibility node is super easy to use. You just connect it here under your layer, you go into properties, and it's either you want to see it in OpenGL view or in render view, which is the render view. If I do this, I will only see the piece in render view. This is useful for like textures and stuff that you don't want to see in your OpenGL. And if I invert and instead have it only in my OpenGL, this is perfect for little handles that you create on your rig. So then I don't see it in render. Alright, now that this is also out of the way, we're almost there. So we have a function in OL of your hand that you can move. Wow, so cool. So then I can just put the prop in sandwich between these two. Speaking of this peg, we don't really move this peg permanently. I know it's tempting to put it here just to move your fingers, but honestly you're gonna have so many different hand designs and drawing substitution to use. So that's why I recommend to leave it there. And if you really need to move this, you can just like move it with your transform tool, do what you have to do, and then when you go back, your pivot point is gonna go back to where it's supposed to be. So note that these two drawing layers are exact clones, so that if you change the timing of one of them, the other one will also adapt to this drawing substitution change. So if you want to make a new hand with overlay fingers, all you need to do is press on create new drawing or duplicate if you want to start from this one. If you really feel fancy in your rig, what you can do is add a empty peg with the pivot point that is like close to your hand, so that you won't need to look for it once you connect your prop to your hand, and just put a composite here, and this would be your props composite, and then you just connect this peg to your hand. So if you ever want to put a prop inside your rig's hand, you can just create your drawing layer with your props, connect it here, and as you draw, it's gonna appear at the right place. This is cool, right? Super easy, super clean, not complicated at all, and it works great. And even if you want to layer your things in Z, it works because we have separate pegs. Alright, so I hope that you had fun and that you'll be able to use this system a lot in your rig, and have a wonderful day!
Qu'est-ce que vous faites? Est-ce que vous vous chicanez? Ah! Ah! Les bébés!